and see what she thinks. So the first theory is that Kylie Jenner is actually selling makeup that isn't hers. So Kylie has had a lot of scandals where people think she steals their ideas. I mean, just recently Kylie started selling camouflage clothing, and then a company named Plugged NYC came forward and said, you stole that from us. I mean, they even had email records showing that Kylie's people asked for sample clothing from them. They were like, Kylie's such a big fan, send us more camo clothes, she loves it. And then not that long afterward, Kylie's like, here's my camo clothes. Here's the theory about her makeup. So Nikki Tutorials is actually the one that got this conspiracy theory really big. She tweeted and then really quickly deleted this. Let's say you want the kits, but not spend the money. Pay close attention to ColourPop's Clueless, Beeper, and Limbo. So basically what Nikki was insinuating was that Kylie might have just slapped her name on some old makeups that hadn't sold yet. So the idea is that ColourPop had some makeup and they're like, fuck, we need to get rid of this. Let's just put Kylie's name on it and resell it as a new item. Now Kylie has denied this and ColourPop has denied this. We're gonna find out from Nikki what she thinks. Okay guys, I am here with Nikki Tutorials and I have some questions for you about some conspiracies. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh god, I'm so nervous.
Okay, this first one does involve you.
You found one?
I did. You made a conspiracy kind of happen involving Kylie Cosmetics. So with your tweet that you did, you pretty much insinuated that all of Kylie's makeup is basically old, unsold makeup from another company that they repackaged. Thoughts?
So I'm like, shit. Shit. No, when I first heard of that Kylie was doing that, there were talks that it was genuinely ColourPop who did it, because she had like an Instagram post with like the creators of ColourPop in the lab.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so people were like, oh, you
insert picture here.
To me, well, so many people already were talking about it, but I guess I had a little bit of a bigger influence that said it, so then I said it, and then it got a lot of comments.
So you think it's real? You think that...
I thought it was real, but I now know for a fact that it's not real.
Did Chris come for you?
No, Chris, I'm not coming for you. Mama Chris.
It's real.
Mama Chris, I love you so much, Mama Chris. No, I know for a fact now that it's not ColourPop. I know the lab where they make it now. No, I swear to God. Well, maybe what some brands do is do one lipstick in this lab, do eyeshadow in this lab, so maybe that's what they're doing, but I know that some of it is not all color.
So you don't think, because here's what I think. Okay. I think that Kylie probably slapped her name on something because there was a bunch left and they're like, let's see if it sells, and it sold really well, so then they did start making it themselves.
Well, maybe they started like that, just to like test the waters, and then they were like, holy crap, this is really successful, and then they went to another lab. Because her quality has improved a lot.
Right.
I swear. You are analyzing me so much right now.
Okay, now this next theory is something that I had never thought about, and now I cannot stop. This is the theory that chapstick companies put tiny microscopic pieces of glass in their formula so that when you apply it, it gives you microscopic cuts, and that makes you have to keep reapplying it and rebuying it. Now to me this one makes sense. I mean, they want you to keep buying their product, so why not keep making your lips chapped? But let's see what Nikki thinks. Okay, so this next conspiracy is about chapstick. I don't know if you've heard about this one, but the theory is that chapstick companies put very tiny microscopic pieces of sharded glass inside of the chapstick so that it works momentarily, but it also cuts up your lips, so you have to buy more.
Oh my god, ew.
So you don't know about this one?
No, I never want to put chapstick on my lips again.
I mean, I believe that one because whenever I use chapstick, my lips get more and more chapped.
Oh my god, yes. Because when you go a full day without it, you're like, I'm fine. But then as soon as you put it on, it's hell.
And fiberglass, I think that's what it's called, fiberglass, like what's inside of walls and insulation, is very soft to the touch, but then later you see a bunch of little cuts on your fingers because it's glass.
Oh, my whole life has been a lie now.
I know.
You ruined my life.
And this last beauty conspiracy theory is a pretty obvious one, and one that is not a shock to me. And that is when a company says that they are sold out of something, they're lying. They only say they're sold out to build up hype and excitement, but really, they have some left. So here's the last one. Now, I feel like this also involves YouTubers because I've seen this a lot on like Instagram and stuff. So the theory is that whenever a company says that they're out of a product, like, oh, we're sold out, oh my god, we're sold out, sometimes they're lying, because they want
Oh,
people
yeah,
to get really
that's
excited.
true.
So that's true.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've seen that with YouTubers and their makeup companies and their books.
Oh
and
my
everything.
god, so many brands do. You know what? Not because I had a collaboration. Mine actually did sell out. You know, just putting that out there. But I know that a lot of brands have a quantity of 50,000, but in order to keep it going, they'll stop it at 5 and be like, oh my god, we sold out. And then you create another buzz, another hype, and then you come back, and then it's like,
Oh.
they do it all the time.
Interesting. Well, guys, my book is sold out. So it's coming back though.
It's sold out.
Thank you for clarifying and giving us your opinions on some conspiracies. Guys, if you want to see me do her makeup, go over to her channel, subscribe, and check it out. Conspiracy Theory. Theories today. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you want. Hey, what's up you guys? Yes, welcome back to another conspiracy theory video. Now, I just have to give you guys a huge warning. This video is going to involve some incredibly dark and deeply disturbing theories. And some of them aren't even theories. Some of them involve suicide, Hurricane Harvey, and child molestation. So I'm warning you up front, this is going to be a very, very intense and possibly triggering video. And if you want to click off and leave, I completely understand. But for those of you who decided to stick around, I warned you. We're going to be talking about the dark, dark world of child molesters in Hollywood. So first, let's talk about Elijah Wood. So Elijah is a huge actor, and he's most known for The Lord of the Rings. But he's been in Hollywood since he was a little kid. I mean, do you remember when he was really little and he was in that movie Flipper?
What's his name? His name is Flipper.
Well, not that long ago, he came out and said that he believes that there is a conspiracy to cover up all of the big Hollywood agents, managers, and directors who are molesting young actors. Okay, now first let's talk about a documentary that came out a couple years ago called An Open Secret. Now this documentary talks about all the child abuse that goes on in Hollywood that nobody talks about. It was even marketed as the film Hollywood doesn't want you to see. Now this isn't just some random documentary that some like crazy conspiracy theorist like me would have made. This was directed by Amy Berg, and she's been nominated for an Oscar for another documentary she made. So clearly, she knows what she's talking about. And the stuff in this documentary is dark.
You'll get signed by a label, you can star on Disney Channel. You know, what kid wouldn't want that, right?
So there's a bunch of stories in the documentary about child stars who are molested by their managers and their agents. And there's even one moment where one of the child stars is secretly recording his manager while he talks about him molesting him.
I remember that you asked me if I ever did anything with the guy before. I was not interested at 12.
You're not recording this, right?
Now, one of the most intense parts of the documentary is when it tells the story of a man named Brian Peck. Now, Brian Peck is an actor that's been in a ton of kids' TV shows. You might remember him from All That.
Pickle Boy. His pickles taste bad.
Well, allegedly, while Brian was filming these kids' TV shows, he was also molesting a kid. In 2004, Brian Peck was convicted of a lewd act against a child and oral copulation of a person under 16. Now, in the court documents, it says he was charged with 11 counts. Lewd act upon a child, sodomy of a person under 16, sexual penetration by a foreign object, and many more. Well, he served 16 months in prison, and then he was released. Now, you would think after that he would be banned from Hollywood, right? 2 years later, he was back on TV. And not just any TV, he was back on kids' TV. That's right, after being convicted of molesting a child, they put him on a kid show. So in 2006, he had a part on The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. And the creepiest part, he played the voice of a mirror that told underage kids how they look.
Okay, these are the nicest things I own. What do you think of this one? This one?
I don't think so.
Yeah, literally the voice of a mirror. You can see his name in the credits. They weren't even hiding it. And the things they had him saying as the mirror honestly feel so creepy after you know his past.
I'm here to take you on a little trip. Come on.
Step into me. Okay, I think you've been going a little heavy on the glass cleaner.
Trust me on this, sweetie. Have I ever steered you wrong before?
Yeah, and then there's even a part where she goes inside of him.
Look closer.
Closer.
The the scariest part about all of this? If you go to his IMDb page, he worked a lot, and most of them were kid shows. And for some reason, nobody cares. Nobody's firing him. Nobody is saying no. They are letting him work. Now we're going to talk about another person in Hollywood that continues to get work who is a child molester. Have you seen the movie Jeepers Creepers? It's a movie about a monster that finds people, eats them, and sucks the meat right off their bones. Now what if I told you that that movie was written and directed by a convicted child molester? That's right. Victor Salva was convicted of sexual misconduct with a 12-year-old boy in 1988. Now this is where it gets crazy. The 12-year-old boy that he molested was starring in a movie that Victor was directing. The movie was called Clown House, and it was a horror movie about 3 young boys who were being hunted by a group of psychotic clowns. And if you watch that movie and think about the fact that the main character is actually getting molested by the director, it makes it even creepier. So the star of Clown House was 12-year-old Nathan Forrest Winters. Now while they were filming the movie, Victor, the director, would ask Nathan to stay after they were done shooting for some extra rehearsals. Now during these rehearsals, Victor would force Nathan to have oral sex with him. And while they did it, Victor kept the cameras rolling. He wanted to keep the footage for his child porn collection. Now eventually, Nathan told his parents what was going on, and the cops raided Victor's house. They found a bunch of child porn, including the tapes of Nathan giving him oral pleasure. Now Victor was sentenced to prison after this, and only had to serve 15 months. That's right, 15 months for literally raping a 12-year-old that he was filming in a movie. What? Well, you would think after that, he would be done. Nope. 7 years later, he directed a huge movie called Powder. Yeah, a big budget movie that was in theaters was directed by him. And it was produced by, you guessed it, Walt Disney Company. Yeah, the same company that employed Brian Peck on The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody after he molested kids. Now they're giving this other molester a huge budget movie. Well then years later, Victor went on to direct Jeepers Creepers. And when you know the backstory of Victor and what he's done, it makes that movie extra scary. Especially the part where the creeper is on the back of a school bus and he's licking the windows while he looks at underage kids. Well, now Victor has a new movie coming out, Jeepers Creepers 3. Well, people are pissed, so pissed that they even canceled the premiere of the movie. And now it's not even getting like a wide release. I think it's literally only going to be in one theater for like one night. Well, when Nathan Forrest Winters found out that there was going to be another Jeepers Creepers movie by the man that molested him when he was 12, he said this: "It is my belief that we as a whole in this country have been too afraid to face such an unspeakable topic and continue to turn a blind eye, which has allowed these predators of our children to go unchecked for too long." Now Nathan is lucky because he's alive. A lot of child stars who are molested grow up, can't take the pain, and kill themselves. One of the most famous child stars who took their own life was Jonathan Brandis. Now when he was a kid, he was in so many movies. He was in the Neverending Story movies. He even had a huge part in the original It, and he was incredibly talented.
George.
Well, years later, when Jonathan was 27 years old, his depression got too bad. On November 11th of 2003, he hanged himself in his Los Angeles apartment. Now, he did not leave a suicide note, but his friends believe that his depression was about his waning career. But many people look back and wonder what happened. How did an actor so good grow up to be so depressed? Well, in 1995, he talked about the fear he had of losing his career.
It's a really tricky time. I've seen guys my age, my friends, that haven't been working for a year because they got off a show or they did a film and it came out, didn't do so well, whatever.
Now listen, it has never been confirmed, or I don't even know if it's been suspected that he was molested as a kid, but honestly, I would not be surprised. Just look at some of these professional headshots that they had him take at such a young age. Yeah, shirtless, and definitely under the age of 18. And look at this one. Ugh. Everything about that photo shoot makes me super uncomfortable. Now, once again, I'm not saying he was molested, but he definitely was being taken advantage of in a lot of ways. And unfortunately, it ended in death. Now, this theory that Elijah Wood was talking about, that there's tons of child molestation going on right under our noses, is still around. I'm not going to go into it because I don't want to get sued, but I have heard so many stories of people that I know who have been on sets with young people who might be getting taken advantage of. And then when you bring it to the attention of the executives or the people in charge, they act like you're crazy. And they act like it's not real, but I think it is real. And I think it goes way deeper than we could ever imagine. I mean, just like the poster for the new Descendants 2 Disney movie says, long live evil. And evil is definitely alive in Hollywood. Alright, so moving on from one incredibly triggering conspiracy theory to another, we're going to be talking about Hurricane Harvey. So Hurricane Harvey has been one of the biggest disasters in history. So many people have lost everything, and many are fighting to survive. Well, recently, all the news networks have been reporting non-stop about it. But not just the facts. They are trying to get as many stories as they can. CNN in particular has people questioning what their motives are. Some people think that all they care about is ratings and not the actual survivors. Just check out this clip of a CNN reporter talking to a survivor, and it does not go well.
But y'all sitting here, y'all trying to interview people during their worst times. Like, that's not the smartest thing to do. Like, people are really breaking down, and y'all sitting here with cameras and microphones trying to ask us what the is wrong with us.
Well then, something else happened on CNN, and it was bizarre.
Look at this. Get out, dude!
So while the CNN reporter was talking, a truck drove into a body of water and the guy started to drown. So then the reporter ran off camera and went to save him.
Hold on, I'm trying to get you a rope.
And then he saves the guy and instantly starts interviewing him about the experience.
This man just accidentally drove into a ravine that looked like a road, didn't it? Yeah.
Well, a lot of people think that this was fake and that it was staged so CNN could get a big story and get more ratings. So